Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to another tarot card investigation of a news story. The idea behind these reviews is to dig into the subconscious in order to better understand the motivations, intentions, and conspiracies behind the stories. And as always, it's just a card reading, so try not to take it too seriously. Today, we want to look into a story that came my way. It's interesting how this one came my way. I just kind of stumbled across it. If anybody's heard about the story of David Crowley and the murder-suicide in Minnesota, you can basically, I'll leave the information with regards to this story or a link or two so you can look it up in the summary section after this video. But basically, the way that I came across this was that there was a video online that talked about the conspiracy behind the situation. And so here, I kind of look at this as this is the perfect situation to see if the cards can investigate a little bit. But the complication is that you can't just ask the cards for yes and no questions like, did he kill himself? What it really, when you think about that, the cards giving you a yes or no answer would always give you a yes answer on that. Fundamentally, when it comes down to it, the subconscious takes things literally. And if you studied anything like the Secret, then you'd know that we attract to us what we get. So did he kill himself? Well, of course he killed himself because he attracted that particular energy to himself, and thus the cards are going to answer yes. So what we have to do is we have to look into it a little bit differently. We have to look at how and why and what might they shed some light on. Can we make some connections somehow? And so I have a little bit more written up on this on the website with regard to this. But here's the basic question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these and see. You might not be able to see that on the video, but you'll be able to read it in the web page write-up. So here, basically, we want to say, and I'll warn you before you go any farther, this may be a little bit longer. I've got 9 cards to do. And so if you don't have the time, feel free to simply go to the website and review the summary, or you can look at the cards. It's all right there to look at your convenience. So what we really want to look into is we're going to look around the issue to see if it can give us hints with regards to what really happened. And so I've got 9 questions here, and the areas are going to be the people involved, the report that was issued by the police, and a conspiracy link. So here, the first card that we're going to draw, we're going to ask the question regarding David Crowley and his case. Does the police report accurately report the number of people involved in the actual murder, or might there be some hidden participants? Does it report the accurate number of people, or might there be some hidden participants? Here, it shows that there's an inharmonic situation. The 10 of Cups is going to have it's an unhappy relationship feeling. It's the feeling where you realize the other person will never change. It's that feeling of being stuck. It's that feeling of realizing the situation you're in is not a good situation, and you're just going to have to deal with it. The other attributes that might be in that, we look at it and say, well, characteristics of this unhappy relationship is going to be misalignment of values, broken home or marriage. Well, yeah, it seems pretty obvious that that is the case, a broken home, broken marriage in this particular murder-suicide. Are there any hidden participants? This card doesn't seem to show that there's anything hidden from us. Can the cards help us understand if the crime scene is true as reported, or if there might have been something staged with the intention of deceiving the police, or of course everyone else? So the crime scene, was it reported accurately? Was it or was it staged? Is there anything that we can get that'll give us hints either way? So the Two of Pentacles is a balance card. It is that feeling of being able to ride your bike without holding the hands, without holding on the handlebars. It's that feeling of things in life are balanced, well reported, they're in harmony, you're going the direction that you need to go. And in relation to the question here, was it a crime scene altered or not altered? Did the report show things as they truly are? This might say that things were upright and things were balanced. I'm going to go into the next set of 3 questions, the next set of 5 questions. The next set of 5 questions have to do with the reporting of the situation. So we want to dig into seeing what exactly they might have said or done. And so here, the first question is going to be, what can the cards tell us about the mental and emotional, physical state of his emotional, mental, and physical state the few days prior to the death? But basically, this news articles or the report was making it out to sound like his life had been spiraling down. It's like all of a sudden he's getting more recluse, and pretty soon he snapped. And so it's very stereotypical, what you'd see in Hollywood type of story, rather than what you might expect in the real world. And so here, we're going to say, what can the cards tell us about the mental, emotional, and physical state a few days prior to his death? And here we get the Sacrifice. We get the Hanged Man. This is a trump card. It is the card of making a sacrifice for others. It's as if he might have felt like he were sacrificing himself for the greater good of mankind. The principles that would be aligned with this card can be basically martyrdom. Actually, it's going to be sacrifice, transition, spiritual transformations, suspension, restriction, letting go. It is to me, it would be the really simple interpretation here is, with regard to his mental, emotional, and physical state, he might have felt like he was making sacrifices for the greater good of humanity. What can the cards show us regarding how others witnessed his behavior in the few days prior to his death? How did others witness his behavior? Others were celebrating his accomplishments. So this is a card of a first stage of completion. It's as if he was, but it's emotional success. So it's as if there's an emotional connection that was positive with regards to how the other people saw him. They saw him as achieving success. He was just in the first stages of his success. And we get the 3 of Cups. What can the cards tell us about how he felt of his last couple months of his life? How did he feel over the last couple months of his life? So here, he may have felt that there was some injustice going on. He may have felt that there were some burdens, that there was undue burdens on him, that things were not fair, that things were out of balance a little bit for him. Looking at the next card, what was he concerned or excited for the adventures that were ahead of him? Was he concerned or excited? What can the cards show us with regards to his level of excitement for moving forward? He was refining out the small details of things. So the 8 of Pentacles card is the card that is going to take you into refining or honing your craft. In the reversed position, it is the focusing specifically on the details rather than on the art itself. It was being consumed by the details. It is being overly ambitious into the details. It is working on the details so much that you don't really make that art. You don't really make the forward progress. It's hard to move forward when you're focusing on the little details. So in the 4th card here, was he concerned or excited about the adventures? Here he might have been burdened by it. He might not have felt as excited about what was coming forward to him because he was trapped in the details. Was he feeling emotionally fulfilled or drained at this time just before his murder? Was he feeling emotionally filled or drained? Here is the card of excessive burdens. So he may have felt like he was way overburdened with what is available in his, or what he was doing in his life. So with those 5 cards, we're going to go on to, I guess there's 10 cards in this drawing. We're going to go on to the last two. The last 2 are associated with the video that I'll have linked into this, that basically because of what he was doing at the time, he was making apparently he was been working for years on putting together a film, that people in the conspiracy world have found this and said, hey, now wait a minute, there's something suspicious going on here. We need to look into this, and they're tying the link between basically that it's not just a murder-suicide, but it may have been an intentional murder. So we're going to look in to see if the cards have anything to say about that. So in this case, we'll ask just a couple questions about that. Can the cards show us if the conspiracy claims are overrated or if there's substance there? Are the conspiracy claims overrated or is there substance there? Here, the Nine of Swords is the Nightmare card. It is the card of fear. It is basically the feeling is the feeling of fear, believing that what happens in your head is real and out of control. So this here would basically show that there's a disconnect in reality. The reality is that our dreams are real and the physical life is real. But the disconnect that this card is showing is that what happens in our mind is uniquely different than what happens in the physical world. And so here we've got a harmonious situation with that disconnect. And so here, can the cards show us that the conspiracy claims are overrated or if there's some substance there? This card would indicate to me that it might be overrated. Here we're going to go on to the next card. If there were one card to sum up the conspiratorial link regarding his death, what would that one card be? So here we're going to look for that one card that's going to sum it all up. And that would be the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is a card of initial completion. It is the card that where you have that feeling like you've just created your manuscript. It's you've done a whole bunch of hard work. You've gotten it to this point where you're feeling really good about it, and people recognize it. They're sharing it with you, and then yet there's still lots farther to go with it. That is not complete. It still needs to go farther. And so if there were, if it were to sum up some conspiratorial link here with regard to his death, what would it be? It would seem to me that this card is indicating that there's still lots more work that needs to be done here. That either the manuscript was only half completed. The work is only half done. I'll just leave it right at that. So at this point, basically, I'm going to draw these cards together. I'll look at them a little bit closer and create a summary that I can post online. Feel free, if you like this reading, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or subscribe to my website. If you feel that others could benefit from this reading, feel free to pass it on to them. If you have a suggestion for a reading, please let me know. I have a contact location on my website where you can basically send me a link to a news story and tell me what you want to hear about it, and I'll proceed to review it. Anyway, thank you for your support.